These fights are saying Floyd hating, Floyd hating, Floyd hating. The last time I checked, hating on what? On what?
Meaning he is greater at his skill of boxing than Stephen Hawking was at science.
Okay. I can live with that, but I don't know if I would call him the greatest fighter of all time. First of all, Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this four-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion.
Floyd Mayweather refused to stay silent after hearing Stephen A. Smith say that Terence Crawford ranks above him as a fighter. At the same time, Stephen A. Smith made it clear that Floyd Mayweather was an extraordinary talent across his long career. He pointed out that Mayweather suffered serious hand injuries for much of his time in boxing. Because of those issues, his natural power was reduced and knockouts became uncommon later in his career. Even with that limitation, Floyd continued to go undefeated. He relied on sharp thinking, smart movement, and flawless timing to beat his opponents. Smith explained that Mayweather consistently outsmarted and outclassed everyone he faced. This ability showed his true greatness. He proved that dominance does not always depend on strength alone. Floyd found ways to control every fight. His success without heavy power highlighted his intelligence and skill in the ring.
Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much, and literally walked in the ring and said, I'm going to embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
In addition to speaking highly of Mayweather, Smith also shared his thoughts on a possible dream fight between Floyd and Terence Crawford. He made his position clear right away by saying he would choose Crawford without any hesitation. Smith explained that he would not question himself or change his mind about that decision. He showed strong belief that if this imagined matchup ever took place, Crawford would have the advantage. According to Smith, there was no uncertainty at all about who he would support in that situation.
Been avoiding everybody, calling it a pick'em fight.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, it could go either way, but I'm going to go with Crawford.
Smith also made it clear that Terence Crawford represents the present era of boxing and stands as the fighter who defines the sport today. He described Crawford as the top fighter in the world right now and the pound-for-pound number one of this generation with no equal. Smith explained that Crawford's rise to becoming an undisputed champion during the four-belt era was a historic achievement. He said this accomplishment separated Crawford from the rest and confirmed that he has already earned his place at the very top of the boxing world.
He is greater at his skill of boxing than Stephen Hawking was at science.
Okay. I can live with that, but I don't know if I would call him the greatest fighter of all time. First of all, Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest ever. He's a brilliant defensive fighter. His speed, his boxing savvy, he's just a savant. But I got to look at the Sugar Ray Leonards of the world. I watch Sugar Ray. I watch Pepino Cuevas. I watch Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Hagler, Mugabe, all of these cats. Aaron Pryor, Alexis Aguero, Salvador Sanchez before he died. But I come up with that era.
Uzi Ennis supported this view by saying that Terence Crawford belongs in the same discussion as legends such as Floyd Mayweather and Sugar Ray Leonard. Ennis explained that Crawford's greatness comes from never running away from tough competition. He said Crawford stepped into the ring with every major opponent in his weight classes and defeated them all in clear fashion. For Ennis, this willingness to face every challenge and come out on top is the reason Crawford is already mentioned alongside the greatest fighters in boxing history.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this four-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion.
Tim Bradley fully agreed with that opinion and openly said that Terence Crawford would beat Floyd Mayweather if they fought during their prime years. Bradley explained his reasoning by highlighting Crawford's wide skill set, his ability to switch stances, and his sharp accuracy. He pointed out that Mayweather often struggled against strong counter-punchers in the past. Bradley mentioned earlier fights where Floyd had to make adjustments against southpaws or fast, accurate opponents. He believed Crawford not only has elite counter-punching skills, but also the versatility to keep Floyd guessing throughout the fight. In Bradley's view, Crawford's size, stance switching, and forward pressure would be too much even for a prime version of Mayweather.
Did that put him up there with the Floyds and the Ray Leonards?
Put him right there with them all. You know what I mean? They told me he didn't fight everybody, nobody. You
He done fought whoever was in front of him, who was in that weight at that time, and he beat everybody. He's great. Simple as that.
Brian Baumack McIntyre, who trains Terence Crawford, backed up that argument by reminding fans that when the greatest fighters in boxing history are discussed, names like Ray Robinson and Jack Dempsey are always mentioned. He strongly stated that Terence Crawford's name deserves to be included in that same group. McIntyre made it clear that Crawford has already accomplished more than enough during his career to earn that level of respect. He believes Crawford is not only a champion of the modern era, but also someone whose legacy will remain part of boxing history forever.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's a GOAT. Oh, absolutely. But Terence Crawford will whoop his ass. He would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he will beat Floyd Mayweather too. He will beat him too. He got everything it takes to beat Floyd. Floyd struggled in the first half against Zab Judah. Zab Judah, a damn terrific fighter. Terrific fighter, but he ain't no damn Terence Crawford. Especially from the southpaw position. Floyd didn't like fighting southpaws. Floyd reached with that right hand. You think he gonna reach against one of the best back foot counterpunchers in the game? He gonna reach with that right hand against Crawford? He gonna get slept reaching with that back hand, the way he reaches with that.
Paulie Malignaggi spoke honestly when comparing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. He explained that Mayweather spent his best years facing real champions and elite competition. He pointed to fighters like Miguel Cotto and a younger motivated Canelo Alvarez as examples of the level Floyd competed against. In his opinion, Crawford has not yet faced opponents of that same standard, which makes a direct comparison between their careers unfair. Even so, Paulie admitted that if both fighters met at their absolute peak, a prime Mayweather against a prime Crawford would have been one of the greatest matchups boxing could offer. He said it would be the kind of fight remembered alongside classic battles involving legends like Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson.
Rank them. Should we rank them like that? Is it difficult because of eras?
No, I would say when you say name the best fighters ever in the history of boxing, you're gonna have to say Ray Robinson. You're gonna have to say Jack Dempsey. Then you gotta say Terence Crawford. He's up there. He's definitely up there.
Zab Judah shared his own view on the debate and said that when Canelo Alvarez once stated that Terence Crawford was better than Floyd Mayweather, it was not an exaggeration at all. Judah explained that Canelo's opinion matters because he is one of the few fighters who actually competed against both men. He pointed out that Canelo fought Floyd earlier in his career and later faced Crawford, which gives him real experience to judge their skills. According to Judah, this first-hand knowledge gives Canelo's words special credibility. He said Canelo's comparison should be taken seriously because he understands the different challenges that both fighters present inside the ring.
Mayweather, I thought, took on some pretty tough 154-pounders and it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard from 40 to 54. Remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54. I don't know. I can't say I disagree or agree. I just think that Mayweather, because it's so far away, so long ago, and people sort of start to underestimate the things he did. People talk about Canelo takes his repertoire from the Mayweather repertoire. No, he doesn't. Mayweather fought ex-champions. This guy's fighting guys who will never even may never smell a belt in their life, and he was fighting them. So. Mayweather, even if you're saying, he didn't fight the very best, he still fought champions and ex-champions, even at 47, even at 54. So, I don't know, man. The comparison, listen, Crawford, Mayweather would have been an amazing fight in their prime. Just like you insert Ray Leonard in there, just like you insert Ray Robinson in there. What a round robin that would have been. It's never going to happen.
Ryan Clark spoke highly of Floyd Mayweather, calling him the defining fighter of his generation. He explained that Floyd did more than just win fights. He outclassed his opponents with perfect technique, quick reflexes, and unmatched focus in the ring. For Clark, Mayweather represented the peak of dominance during the 2000s. He said Floyd was the ultimate example of skill and control in an era full of talented champions.
Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know? Anybody would know, Canelo would know.
He then turned his attention to Terence Crawford, saying that Crawford has earned his own spot among the all-time greats. By defeating fighters like Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez in convincing fashion, Crawford has shown both his courage and top-level skills. Clark pointed out that these wins prove Crawford is not only highly skilled but also willing to challenge himself against the very best. He said that Crawford is making his own mark and securing his place in boxing history.
Bud is extremely skilled, right? Yet not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made people look foolish, right? And so if I had to say who's the greatest I've seen, and Bud said it right, the best of an era and the best of an era, it's Floyd. But when I watched Bud against Canelo, there was this extreme skill on display, and there was a level of crazy that's different. There was a level of, and Floyd's extremely tough. Go back to Shane Mosley and the 2 punches he landed early in the fight and the way that he embarrassed him. I'm not saying that Floyd's not tough. Floyd's not a bad man, but there was domination inside that ring.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle and trainer, offered a more thoughtful take by reflecting on Floyd's memorable fight against a young Canelo Alvarez. Jeff acknowledged that while Floyd clearly won on the scorecards, the bout also showed Canelo's early promise rather than complete domination. He explained that Canelo was still very young and developing as a fighter. Floyd, on the other hand, was at the peak of his experience and control in the ring. To Jeff, the fight demonstrated Floyd's skill, but also showed how timing matters in boxing, since Floyd faced Canelo before he had fully reached his potential.
And there's no fear in him in the way that he's attacked gaining notoriety. Bud's been the baddest man for 12 years, but no one gave him credit because he didn't go tell you he was the baddest man. He didn't market that. He just went out and fought and beat people and knocked people out. So he had to move up and take the bigger fights and the better fights. And he was Errol Spence. We realized just how great he was. Canelo cemented him on what is the two-headed monster that marks the greatest of the 2000s. Floyd Mayweather is on that, and Bud Crawford is right next to him. I don't think we have to pick on who's better. I think they both dominated their eras equally.
Errol Spence Jr. shared his view on what makes Floyd Mayweather one of the greatest in boxing history. He highlighted Floyd's exceptional ring IQ and unmatched skills, saying these qualities set him apart from nearly everyone else. In Spence's opinion, Mayweather had a way of controlling every part of a fight, both mentally and physically, securing his place among the all-time greats. He added that while fans can only speculate about a fight between Mayweather and Crawford, Floyd's mental sharpness and psychological advantage would have been the deciding factor.
Also, if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. Yeah, nobody. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game.
Robert Garcia shared his thoughts on placing Terence Crawford in the larger context of boxing greatness. He said Crawford's achievement of becoming an undisputed world champion is historic and deserves full recognition. However, if he had to choose for a prime versus prime matchup, Garcia admitted he would lean toward Floyd Mayweather or even Manny Pacquiao, believing they had the advantage in overall competition and toughness in their eras. Still, he emphasized that Crawford has already earned his place in the discussion of all-time greats because of the legacy he has built.
It's a little different because, Floyd is different. I feel like he's the best fighter. I don't know about all time. He might be the best fighter all time. If not, he's close, 2-3, and not by far. So it's just it's a little bit different things that Floyd does. And Floyd was a lot older when I sparred him, and it's just certain things that he does that that's real tricky. Like the guy was we get in the clinch, he was like squeezing my nose and so I couldn't breathe and stuff like that. So it's just certain things that he do in there. It's just vetting stuff, just vetting the all-time type stuff he was doing there.
Even like Floyd would beat Crawford, would you think? I know that's just a fantasy matchup.
Man, I don't know.
I'm reaching,
I
you know.
don't get into all that. Yeah. I don't know who went out, Sugar Ray Robinson and Floyd. I don't know.
But for Floyd was the best work, just like mental games, everything.
Yeah, mentally, he by far, I feel like he's the best. He's the best man.
Shane Mosley compared Terence Crawford to one of the few fighters who really challenged Floyd Mayweather, Jose Luis Castillo. He explained that Crawford's combination of power, long reach, stance switching, and constant pressure could give Floyd similar difficulties. Mosley said that even though Mayweather's defense was legendary, Crawford's relentless attack and versatility might create a very tough fight. In his view, Crawford would have been one of the rare opponents capable of truly pushing Mayweather out of his comfort zone.
Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5-division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more. In a fight, I probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win. Just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
That's it for today's video. What do you think about all this? How would you see their dream matchup playing out? We'd love to hear your opinion, so leave your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it.